Hi everyone, as you know, I've been organizing a lot of my stuff the last couple of days. It's my way of dealing with anxiety. You can see outside, it's still pretty gloomy out there. We haven't seen the sun in many days and are kind of getting used to this new normal, which I don't want to get used to. I have my lights on in the house at all times since it's been 3 days now. Anyway, so I've been organizing. I haven't done all of it yet, but I wanted to take you through a quick tour of what I have organized and how I have organized it. I've been watching a lot of videos from Jennifer McGuire and Christina Werner and other paper crafters and seeing how they organize their space, but they have a lot more space than I do. So this is kind of the area that I'm restricted to. Those two sets of rainbow drawers, that's where all my crafting stash is. So it needs to be really well organized. I am using this space under my table, which I still need to organize. I haven't touched it yet, but that's mostly stuff that is gel plate related. So lots of textures and other things that I collect. And that area is next on my list to organize. But first what I did was organize everything that went in these drawers. So I'm going to show you how I organized it. This is all my works in progress. So these are cards in various stages of making. So these are like paintings that I've done that need to be like adhered to panels and lots of just random stuff. But it's all in here, so I know that these are cards that are works in progress. So I have this basket here for those, and as you can see, I have lots of stuff that's in progress, but I get to it from time to time. These are all the cards that are finished. They are ready to ship. I'm actually taking photos of each one of these and posting them on my website. So if people want to purchase cards, they can. If they want to have custom orders done, I have the option for that. But these are organized by category. So there's Christmas cards. These are all you make me so happy or happiness related. It makes me happy to see you happy. So this is all the happiness cards are all over here. And then I put all my birthday cards over here. Let's see, I have one congratulations card that means that I need to make more of those. I have a lot of keep on keeping on kind of positive encouragement kind of cards that have been making difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. These are all my slimlines, so all of those are in that slot over there. Then I put some generic miscellaneous cards like what's up or just saying hello, lots of thinking of you cards. These are all lots and lots of gratitude cards, lots of thank you cards. This is my thank you card stack right here. Then I have one sympathy card. And so I'm kind of beginning to organize, and it also helps me see, once I have all these completed cards in this section, what category of cards I need to make more of and what I already have enough of. So that's helpful to have as a visual right there. And then right here in my binders, these are all 1-inch binders that I've been using to organize my stamps. So I did backgrounds and people together, sentiments together, then I did my seasonal and food, botanicals and travel. And this is not the absolute ideal system quite yet and I will show you what I mean. So let me just put this down here. It's difficult to do this with one hand, but you see how they kind of move around. So I just put them in there. And what I did was when I was putting them in, I was also taking photos of each of these. So I put cardstock to separate these stamps out. But again, these are still moving. So I need to figure out how to make them not move while they're in here. They're all organized. I've been taking photos and I've created a database so I know what stamps I have. So if I need to look for a stamp, I can just look at my phone and search by category. I've cross-categorized each of these, and I've put the same categories in the binders so that if I'm looking for a stamp, then I know which binder to look in. So that's going to save me some time, but this is not the most ideal solution. I probably will have a better solution once I move into a more permanent space. This is a rental unit, so this is the space I have. And that's the system that I'm kind of going with. I have my big shot over there. So anytime that I'm doing any kind of die cutting, I can just do my die cutting right here on this platform. So for the drawers, now I'll take you through each of these drawers so you can have a look at how I'm storing my stuff. These are all my gel plates, and I have a lot of gel plates. I do a lot of gel plate printing, and I therefore have a lot of gel plates in different sizes, and this is how I store them. So I have these cardstock. This is 110-pound cardstock, and I have just kind of put my gel plates on this. They just stick on. There's no adhesive, and I just stack them up. So you can see how these are different sizes. There's rectangulars, there's squares, All my minis are in here too. Those are all my minis right there. And so you can see that it's easy to stack them up. They stay flat. That's super important for gel plates, to stay flat. And I don't want to have them in their clamshell packaging that they come in, because that takes up a lot of space. And in the back there, I have my brayers. So I have 4 brayers in there. And I do multiple gel plates at a time. So I will have lots of different, so I spread those out. That's my workstation right there. I just spread out all my gel plates, and I'll have multiple gel plates at any given time so that I can pull off multiple prints. So that's the reason I have so many in different shapes. So that's exclusive gel plate printing drawer. Then in this one, it says brass, ephemera, postcard paper, die cuts, and deli paper. So what I do sometimes, again, when anxiety strikes, is I will just take some die cuts and I will die cut a bunch of paper. So this was from last week when I got my new die cut from Concord and 9th, the thanks. And I took out all my gel plate prints and my alcohol ink paintings, and I cut out a bunch of things. So now when I need to make a card, and I'll show you an example, like yesterday I wanted to make a thank you card. I took out my gel plate print, put it on a slimline base, and I had this already cut out from my Ziploc, just took it out and adhered it, and that was a quick card that I made. So I have these, like I have the Christmas stuff over here with the poinsettias and the pine needles, then I have another script going with thank yous, then I have, this is all my brass. So I used to do a lot of jewelry stuff and used to make a lot of things. I've had different phases in my art journey, and now I'm using these in my scrapbooking and my cards. So these look really cool, I think, for textures. I die cut my feathers out, I have leaves, I have other things. So I just put them in these Ziplocs. I usually don't label them because I can just see through. And then what I also have in here is postcard paper. So these are, and these are very handy. I'll tell you why. These are 4x6. And these are perforated sheets. So it doesn't take a long time to just kind of cut them out and put them in a Ziploc like this. What I use these for is gel plate printing. So I have these already 4x6 cardstock that I have, just have these handy. And when I'm doing gel plate printing, I just take these out and I can use them quickly. And this is how you get them. So this is an Avery sheet. I don't know where it says postcard paper somewhere. Let me just take that out for you guys. There, it says matte white postcard. And so all you do is just kind of, they have perforated things that you can just use to cut them off. So I have those in here, and let's see, what else do I have? I have deli paper in here. So deli paper is at the bottom. This is the deli paper I have. I usually use that to clean my gel plate when there's paint stuck on it. So I have that at the bottom. As you can see from the state of my gel plates, I don't usually clean them, and there's a reason why. I like pulling off textures that have built for many, many sessions and incorporate those into new prints. So I think it gives my prints more history and more character. So that's why the deli paper is down at the bottom of this drawer. Paridhi, from where do you get these? Or what are you talking about? Are you asking about the brass embellishments? I got these from Etsy a very long time ago. I've had these for over 3 years. I might be able to track down the seller, and if I do, I will message you and let you know where I got these brass embellishments from. If you're asking about something else specific in this drawer, just let me know, and I'm happy to answer questions as I'm doing this. Next drawer is Sizzix Accessories and SSS Sentiments. Those are Simon Says Stamp Sentiments. So I love these sentiments, in case you haven't seen them before. These are so handy because these are all pre-printed. And what I did yesterday, I basically just sat down with my trimmer and I just trimmed these. So you see how these are different categories, and now whenever I'm making a card for that specific category, I already have my sentiments, my pre-printed sentiments pre-cut. And that just makes it so easy when you're in the zone and crafting. Instead of having to sit and cut, you already have these. So this will be very handy. And then I have my Sizzix Accessories in here. What that means is that I have my extra cutting plates. I have my Big Shot magnetic platform that I use from time to time. And I have these adhesive sheets for when I'm doing intricate die cuts, so that I don't have to keep gluing those on. I actually just discovered these after a year when I was cleaning my stash yesterday. So it was a pleasant discovery. I had forgotten that I had those. All right, on to the next drawer. Embellishments and sequins. So this one is the trickiest drawer because these just keep shaking around so much. But I figured out, so I had this thing from Michaels, these drawers, these mini drawer sets from Michaels that they have these slots that they go in, but they kept falling out. So that didn't quite work for me. Every time I moved around, they would anything shook in the house, these just kind of fell out of the slots. So I gave the slots to my daughter, so she's using them as a pen case holder. And I'm putting these in a drawer, and these fit perfectly in this drawer. So it's been really helpful. I can see at a glance what I have in them. I can take out whatever I want and embellish my cards or my journals however I want. Now in the back there, I didn't put that as a label over here. It just says embellishments and sequins. In the back there, I do have this thing that I bought that I haven't quite figured out how to use yet. So another one of those things that, I buy when I see other people using them, but then I don't get around to using it, are these gilding flakes. Right there in the back, I have copper, I have gold, and I have silver. I do not know when I will use them, but when I do get around to using them, I'll have them. So they're in the back. And I have my foil right there too. I just bought the Spellbinders plate, which is right here somewhere. The Glimmer Hot Foil System. Again, one of those things that I saw another crafter use and I fell in love with it, bought it, don't know how to use it. We'll figure it out at some point, but that's how, my crafting journey goes. So I'm just being honest here and sharing why it takes so long to organize my stash. I also have the transfer gel from Deco Foil, which I saw Jennifer McGuire use in one of her posts where she was making a card with a laminator. I cannot find my laminator, so I know it's somewhere. I'll find it someday. So that's my embellishments and sequins drawer. Pebeo. Now this one is basically a catch-all in terms of whatever extra supplies I have. I said Pebeo in there because that's what's taking up most of the space. I love, 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 love these tubes. These are Cern Relief. They are supposed to be for stained glass effect, so painting on bottles, on glass bottles and such, but I have been using them on cards, on gift boxes, and let me see if I can find an example from my cards here. So if you notice the stamens here, these dots that you see, these are 3D. They have a lot of texture, and that's from using this Pebeo Cern Relief. And also right here, what I did was I put some Cern Relief and then I just smeared it with my thumb, and I got this beautiful subtle sheen. It's a sympathy card, so I didn't want to go overboard with it, but I just love how it adds something extra to your cards if you are a card maker. If you're not a card maker, these would still work for any kind of glass work that you're doing. And then I have a hole puncher there, a trimmer, some extra brushes, and extra postcard paper. All right, journals. Now this is something I'm really, really, really excited about. Tanya Ahmad is to blame for this, or I should say, should take credit for this. This is going to be a post in and of itself, but I'll share a bit of it. So what I did was, so these are some portraits that I printed, and I've just been stashing them here and there and everywhere. Some of them are crumpled, but I got a disc binding system, and basically what it was is an Office Max hole puncher, and I got these discs from Amazon. And so now I can have an actual journal that has portraits in it that I can work on. I embellish these from time to time. I just need to sit down and do something with my color pencils, and I can just go through these and have fun doing them. Another one that I made here, this is, again, it looks like it's just scrap paper, and some of it is, but these are all my gel plate prints. So I do a lot of videotaping and do a lot of sample making for my online courses, my gel plate printing courses, and so I have a lot of these prints, and I cut them up, and I've bound them, and now I can doodle inside them, and it'll be a journal. There's another one over here. This one is from my portrait printing class. It's my online class. I had made all of these in my portrait printing class, and I take notes as I'm doing these so that I can refer to them later and see what I used to get the effect that I got and how I got the ghost prints and stuff like that. So I love how these can all stay organized in a drawer, and then whenever I have time, this is just an empty one with some kind of portraits in there. But whenever I have time or I just feel like doodling something, I have these right on hand. And then I have my other journals in here too that I didn't bind myself. But again, these are all my gel plate. Oh, this is upside down. These are all my gel plate journals. So just, you know, playing and working on these as and when I get time. Some of these pages are sticking because the time I started making these, I didn't know, like see this one's badly stuck. I didn't know that using a matte gesso as your base helps with the stickiness issue. And also this is not really proper journal paper. Like this is not actual journal paper. This is just regular paper. It's probably like 75, maybe 80-pound paper, but it's not a lot of weight to it. So this is an old journal, but you know, I still have empty pages in that, so I work on it. So this is my journals drawer. It's kind of my, when I'm hitting a creative wall and I need to kind of jumpstart my creativity, that's my, it should say creative jumpstart drawer right there. Okay, here, paint tubes. So these are all the paints I have. I haven't differentiated by medium, but these are the Liquitex acrylics. These are the Arteza gouache. I have the watercolor tubes somewhere, the metallic watercolors under there. So this is all just paint tubes. And then I have the Bria Reese iridescent, and like this is just acrylic writer, a paint writer. At some point I got those, but so that's just paint tubes. Then here, coming back up on the right side, so you can see this holds a lot of stuff. These drawers are super awesome. I got these from Michael's and they are really, really helpful. I'm getting some organizers inside for the drawers for things like these. They should arrive tomorrow. So this is not going to look like this. It'll be a little bit more neat, but this is essentially what it holds. I have my twine, ribbon, glue, basically a tools catch-all kind of drawer. The clippers for when I get die cuts and I need the wire cutters. Extra tape, binders, little trash bags for my little trash can that's on my table, super glue, just all of the utility stuff. So that's in here. Then I came up with this really cool system yesterday. I'm so excited about it. These are not all my dies. This is a work in progress. I ran out of magnet sheets, so I'm waiting for them to arrive so I can continue. But again, using the same disc binder system. So what I'm doing here is I am organizing these by brand. And I realize for some people, like for stamps, you'll see over here, these are by category. That's how I search for my stamps. For dies, for some odd reason, the way I work, the way my mind works, is I go by brand. And I actually know which brand dies I have bought of what shape. I have that cataloged in my memory, but I also have taken photos of these and made a catalog on my phone. So in case this collection grows, this is, I would say, maybe 30% of what I actually have. Again, I ran out of these magnetic sheets, so I'm waiting for them to come so I can make more binders. So these are all the Sizzix dies that I have. There are words, there are flowers, there's grass, more words, banners. So all the Sizzix stuff is in here. These are all my Sizzix dies. These magnetic sheets, they are actually, a lot of people buy those big ones and then they cut them out. I like to keep the company's insert that comes in the plastic sleeve because it's just easy for me to look at stuff and just know at a glance, okay, this is MFT, this is Concord 9, this is Sizzix. It's just much easier for me to do that. So I don't cut out cardstock, and I try not to. Where I have lost my packaging material, that's when I have cut out. This is actually photo paper, which is much cheaper than cardstock, and you can get it in bulk from Costco. So it's photo paper that I wouldn't use for anything else. And these magnetic sheets are actually another cheap option that you can get in bulk, much cheaper than if you were to buy craft magnet. These are business cards, so magnetic business cards. Look for those on Amazon. And these are, I think, 3x5 or 2.5, not 3x5. They don't look like 3x5. I'll let you know the measurements once I confirm them, but they're more like 2x3, maybe 2.5 by 3.5 business cards. And so I just stick like 3 of them. I'm also able to cut them with my cutter or stick them vertically next to each other. However, the shape of the die is, it accommodates that. I just feel like these are much easier to manage. And then if I just use one, it's fine to do that too because it's a small enough size. So that's my Sizzix. Yesterday I was die cutting something, and all I have to do is take this book out on my table, flip through it, look for the die I want to use, take out the die, use it on my die cut machine right here, and put it back. It's just so convenient, and I'm going to use it so much more because it's not a hassle anymore just slide them into sleeves and then, you know, prop them up somewhere. They're just here in this drawer. So this is something that I think is going to really work for me. So that's my dies drawer, and I will have another drawer that will say dies, which will have the rest of them. So there will be 2 drawers for dies, and I think I will keep the system once we move back to our house. Now, rubber stamps had become another issue for me because I was buying so many rubber stamps from Unity Stamp Company because their stamps are super gorgeous, and I didn't know how to store them. So again, using my disc binder system, thanks to Tanya, now I have these books, and it's not just the rubber stamps from Unity Stamp, as you can see. I have all of these odd size stamps, and they're all here. Easy peasy, and anytime I need to get a stamp out, all I have to do is go through my booklet right here. So this is all my Unity stuff. These are the minis. And I can just conveniently, I can take this whole thing out and take out the stamp and use it, or I can just take the stamp out because this is kind of a Ziploc mechanism. Just take the stamp out and put it back in. And they're all here. And they're all lying down flat, so I know I'm not crushing them or, you know, otherwise spoiling them. Here's the one I designed for Unity Stamp. That's a good memory. So these are all the Unity stamps that I have. Again, in their original packaging, just did disc binding. And so these are all in here. And I like having easy access to them. Now see if they come off. That's the cool thing too. Like this one just came off. I can just press it in. That's what I like about this binding system, is that it's not permanent. So if I change my mind or if I want to move categories around, I can easily do that. If I want to insert a sheet in here and categorize it differently at a later stage, I can do that too. So it's a good system to have. Next, paper scraps. Now, I don't know about you, but this is my life. Paper scraps was one of the reasons why I started this whole reorganization business. Now what I have done is, these are not labeled, but I know what they are, and once you see it, you'll know what they are too, because they're easy to identify. These are all black and white strips, just black and white and maybe some gold and gray, but mostly black and white strips. For stamping out sentiments, these are whatever comes out. Anytime I make a card, if there's excess, it goes in this bag. These are black and white card panels. So anything from slimline to A5 to A4 to A7, whatever sizes there are, all the black and white ones, they're in here. Then these are color coordinated. So all the browns are in here, all my red scraps are in there, all my gold scraps are in there. These are strips and scraps, as you can see. So these are all organized by color. And again, once I move into a permanent space, these might not end up being in a drawer. They might end up living a different way, but they will be categorized like this, where I have my strips all together and I have my colors organized that way. Now this one has envelopes, scratch cards, bookmarks, printed scraps and strips. Now the difference between these paper scraps and these printed scraps and strips, I wanted to differentiate them, because I don't use my printed scraps and strips as often. I usually just go for my plain colors. This will force me to use them because they're right here. And the way I've organized these is, so this is my gel plate, this is brayer sheets. So this is all the stuff that is not part of the print, but they could make for some really cool backgrounds. So these are all my brayer sheet cut-ups. So I have them here. These are my alcohol ink painting strips. So I just, use them as card panels, and then this comes off, and then what do I do? So I've been saving them. One day I'm going to do a lot of basket weaving style cards when I need that kind of zen, but I have those here. I don't use printed paper a lot. I use it for making envelopes. So this is what I've done with what remains. So after I've made an envelope, these are 12 by 12 sheets. Most of them are from scrapbook.com. And I didn't know what to do. Like, it seems like a waste to throw these away, but what do I do with them? So I decided I'm going to save them, and I might actually end up using them as card when I need to make lots of cards, and they can be easy backgrounds. So these are all my pre-printed. These are not things that I created, but these are printed sheets of paper in here. And you can see I'm hiding them under because I don't think I'll be using them anytime soon, but they're there for me to use whenever I do need to use them. These are all my envelopes in all different sizes. So these are for note cards, these are for slimline cards, my A6 cards, my small. So what I also did yesterday was stamp all of these. So when I need to send quick thank you notes, small thank you notes with any order, I have these pre-printed so that I don't have to do them at that time, or pre-stamped, I should say. So that's my envelopes drawer. Here I have my pre-cut cardstock, which basically means that I took the cardstock from the bottom drawer here and I cut it into cards, either top opening or side opening or slimline. I have my watercolor paper, photo print, square, envelopes, and work in progress. So I'll show you what that means. So this comes under work in progress. So what these are basically alcohol ink paintings and gel plate prints that I cut to size for an A4 card panel or for a slimline card panel. And I showed earlier, so what I'm doing is grabbing something from here. It's so easy to create a card now because I can grab a slimline cutout. These are cut out to size, and I can just adhere that to a slimline panel. And then I can open my die cuts drawer and use the thanks die cut that I already have in here. And voila, I have a card and I just add some embellishments and it's done. So it's just making life easier. It's taken a while to get to this point, but I know going forward, it will be very helpful to have all of this in place. I also have my distress glaze in this drawer because I don't have proper watercolors. I use my distress ink re-inkers, which are all over here. So I use these as watercolors, and they need this to protect them, to make them waterproof. So that because they're water reactive inks, so I don't want them to start reacting again. So I put this on top. So I have this in with my watercolor paper drawer. That's my pre-cut, pre-scored cardstock right here. Under this, I have all my different watercolor pads. So you can see there's the black watercolor, there's the hot press, cold press, they're all in here. So this is my watercolor paper. Right there in the back. So these are some originals that I made that I want to scan and enlarge and hang up in my house when we move back. That's an alcohol ink painting. Then these are all my gel plate botanicals that I have in here that will become cards. One day it's going to be a series that I will launch. This is another one of those series that I want to do. So this is going to be a beach series of cards that I make. These are photographs that I took and modified when I was doing iconography. These are some macros of resin bottle stoppers. When I was making resin bottle stoppers, I took macros of them using my iPhone and printed those out. So this will be another series of cards. And then these are just random scenes. So I just have all of these series in my mind that I will someday make cards out of this and photograph them and put them up on my website and have all of these series launches. We'll see when that happens. Not likely in 2020, but we shall see. And then here is a project that I did, again, one of those days when anxiety was driving me crazy. I took feathers, I took my gel plate out, and I made a bunch of square envelopes. And I made prints. So now I have all of these square envelopes that are ready to hold cards. So you can see the back is plain, and that's the front. Bubble wrap and, all sorts of things, whatever. I have egg carton. Just made a bunch of these. I think I made like 50 of these the other day, and they're just here. So whenever I end up making square cards, I know I have envelopes to go with them. So these are all in here. Claudia, thanks for saying that I'm organized. This has just happened in the last 3 days because of all of this randomness going on in our world and orange skies. I can't bear to look outside the windows, so I've just been organizing. So that's that drawer. Then the next drawer here says cardstock, acetate, photo paper, and Yupo. So this is a lot of media stuff. So these are actually acetate sheets that I cut up. Again, it's hard to store things that are super big. I just feel like I don't take them out if they are so big. They just feel too daunting to me. So I cut them up, and this is how I store them. So the Yupo, this is a small pad. This is easy enough to manage. That's my Yupo paper. This is black photo paper, which is awesome with alcohol inks, and especially if you have any of those mediums with the jacquard, gold medium and stuff like that. The inks glide beautifully on this. So I have the black photo paper. This is my regular cardstock, the Nina Smooth cardstock. Then I have all of these Duralar sheets that are, it's basically a polyester film. I have the matte, I have the transparent, then this is the super long one, the 11 by 14, and I'll show you guys, this was, that's my craft plastic over there. I'll show you what I discovered when I was cleaning. I'd completely forgotten that I had made these beauties. And I don't mean to brag, but I really, really, really love. And I remember when I made this, this is like huge, it's 11 by 14. This was something that took me a while to make with alcohol inks. And I just love, 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 love how fall this is. It's just fall colors. And then I made another one that looks a bit different. It has all the forest colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end up either framing these as is in my craft room when we move back to our house, or have them scanned and enlarged and put up somewhere in the house. But I remember this one took me close to 4 hours to make, and it was the same with the other one. And it was mostly because I had to wait for each drop to dry up completely before putting the next drop on the paper. So I'll try to put this back in. I don't think I can with one hand, so I'll just show you what else is in here. So I have the craft plastic, the Duralar. Here's the craft plastic. I use a lot of these materials with my gel plate. So you've seen me create, I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, you should look back in my feed. I make paper clips, and I've made brooches and pins and other household materials like night lights using these materials that are in this drawer. And then in this last one here is stencils and stickers. Now, I was not a very big user of stencils until I started doing gel plate printing, and this drawer is overstuffed. As you can see, it's kind of stuck there. But lots and lots of stencils now, ever since I started using them in my gel plate. So these are all hand-cut stencils, Mylar stencils, chipboard stencils, different brands of stencils, all kinds of stencils. Some paper doilies. These are the dollar store stencils in here. These are adhesive stencils, so they already have an adhesive backing, which I love. These are all the alphabet ones. Then these are all the stickers, mostly from the dollar store, but also some from other stores. Here are the hard stencils I have. These are actually from India. These are from when I used to go to school, and I've saved them. So I have these, and then I have some texture plates. These are like odds and ends, you know, things that I find that aren't even for the specific purpose of gel plate printing, but they work beautifully, so I use them. So this is kind of the stencil, sticker, texture, plate kind of drawer that I go into quite a bit when I'm doing my gel plate printing. So I'm going to have a gel plate printing station set up when we move back, because I will need that space. So that's, you can see that was a lot. That's a lot of stuff that both of these drawer sets can hold. And when I am working, it's nice to be able to have access to all of this stuff. That's my workstation right here. And you can see I have like works in progress. I have, like, this area is not the best, but it works. It's utilitarian. I have close, like everything in close proximity. So when I'm sitting on my chair here and crafting, I have my pencils, my pens, everything's right here, my tools, my scissors, my glue, and then I have all of that stuff over there at my die cut station over there. And then whatever I complete, I'm able to put that in that carousel over there. Whatever I'm working on, if I'm moving from one project to another, I have that basket over there, and those are all my works in progress. So that's kind of my L shape. That's what we use in the kitchen when we're designing kitchens. That's my L shape work area. And I am going to get to this part here under the table sometime this week as I reorganize, because there's a lot of stuff in here that I know needs a place. It needs a home, and it's just kind of being stashed and stuffed in that, which is not all right. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's been 3 days of arduous organizing, reorganizing, cutting, chopping, labeling things, but I think it's a system that will work, and I will continue reorganizing, and I'll share another update later this week. I hope you're all staying safe, and I hope you're all staying sane, and continue crafting, and make sure if you're making cards, they don't just keep sitting in your carousel or in your drawer or in your home or in your craft corner. Send those out. Please, 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 just if you're making cards, send them out. You never know how they'll touch someone's heart. We crafters have this unique ability to do that and really touch other people's lives. So it's just a gentle reminder that if you're making cards, make sure you also are mailing them out. Have a great week, and I will see you all soon.